Hi, dear students, how are you? I hope you're fine. Today we're gonna talk about market structures and we're gonna complete what we started. We before finished why do we study market structures? We took before how can economists classify the market. We have four here structures. Remember, perfect competition, like we are talking about here examples like potatoes and milk. Monopolistic competition, we are talking about fast food. Oligopoly, and we made here an open discussion together, um, for example for Mobil and Vodafone and Etisalat, and monopoly like Telecom Egypt. I'm having here perfect competition, monopolistic competition, oligopoly, and monopoly. So let's start. Comparison of market structure. I'm having here in the perfect competition, I'm having many and many, the number of firms, we are having many and many number of firms. Monopolistic competition, I'm having here also many and many number of firms. What about oligopoly? We are having two or four, 2 to 4 dominate. So I'm having here in the oligopoly, I'm having 2 to 4, just 2 to 4, the number of firms. What about the monopoly? Just one. What about here variety of goods? For the perfect competition, I'm not having any differences in goods. In monopolistic competition, I'm having some different but not so much. In oligopoly, I'm having some. And what about the monopoly? I don't have any here because I'm just having one here, one firm that produced this one product. Control over prices in the perfect competition? No, we don't have. What about the monopolistic? Little. We have, but just little. What about the oligopoly? We have some, of course. What about the monopoly? We have complete here control over prices. What about the barriers to entry or exiting this kind of structures? We are having for the perfect competition, we don't have any barriers to enter. It's easily to enter or exit this kind of structures, market structures. What about the monopolistic competition? I'm having low here barriers. I'm having high barriers in oligopoly and monopoly. I'm having complete here difficult, completely difficult. What about examples for the perfect competition? I'm having wheat. We are having shares of stock. What about the monopolistic competition? Jeans, books, whatever. Oligopoly, I'm having for cars, movie studios. Monopoly, I'm having for public water. So, factors determining market structures. I'm having 5 main factors that determine market structure. The number and the relative size of firms supplying this product. The degree of product differentiation. So, this table was very important to study. Okay, study well this table. So, when I ask you what are the factors of determining market structures, I have to know that we are having 5 main factors, like the number and the relative size of firms supplying the product that you are working on. The degree of product differentiation. What are the differences here? Variety of goods here. What are the differences here in the between goods? The power of the seller over pricing decisions. Do you have a power here as a perfect competition in pricing or in putting the price? In the perfect competition, none. In the monopolistic competition, I'm having little. In the oligopoly, I am having high. In the monopoly, I'm having complete. What about the relative strength of the barriers to the market entry and exit? So, do you have difficulties in entering or exiting this kind of market structure or not? The degree of non-price competition. Non-price competition, I'm talking about what? Remember, advertising, customer service, and promotions. So, extreme types. I'm having here market structures posters like perfect competition. I'm having here the price taker. Here for the perfect competition, I'm price taker. I'm having identical products, of course. I'm having here low barriers to entry. What about the monopoly? Monopoly? No, single seller. So price maker. I'm the price maker. Unique here product, and I'm having high barriers to entry. So this is a comparison between the two different, and I'm having here extremely different extreme types. Here I'm having here extremely different types of what market structure. I'm having here perfect competition and the monopoly. So the perfect competition, here let's talk about the perfect competition. I'm here talking about, there are, according to the five factors of determining the market structure, I'm talking here about the perfect competition related to the five factors. So for the most important thing, my dear students, to understand this or to study this very well, go back to this. Go back to this table and study this table very well, so you're gonna understand what we are talking about, and also you're gonna make it easier for you. So according to the perfect competition, we are having here, there are large number of potential buyers and sellers, a lot and a lot of people who are working in agricultural products. For example, the products offered by sellers are virtually identical, that they are the same. The tomato here in this shop is the same in the other supermarket. It's the same tomato. So there, it's red here, and the other one is the same red. No differences between them. There are few or easily here surmountable barriers to enter and exit. Or we can say there is no barriers to enter or exit. Sellers have no market pricing power. Price takers, they are price takers, not makers. Price takers, not makers. Okay. Non-price competition is absent. So non-price competition is absent. You're not going to advertise for your tomatoes. Of course not. Because you are having the same here, no competitive advantage. So the perfect competition is a market structure in which large number of firms all produce the same product. So when I talk about the perfect competition, it's a market. It's a market structure in which large number of firms all produce the same product. There are four conditions for the perfect competition. Let's see them. Many buyers and sellers. I'm having here many and many buyers and sellers. There are many participants on both the buying and selling sides. Identical products, as we are having the same products. There are no differences between the products sold by different suppliers. Informed buyers and sellers, the market provides the buyer with full information about the product and its price. Of course, free market entry and exit. Here, firms can enter easily and exit easily from this kind of markets. They can make money and leave it when they can't. So the barriers to entry, factors that make it difficult for new firms to enter market, are called barriers to entry. So what does it mean, barriers to entry? They are the factors that can make it difficult for the firms to enter, the new firms, of course, to enter or leave the market. We are having two main barriers. Startup cost. What does it mean, startup cost? And this is a question. What does it mean? Startup costs. I'm here having what? The expenses that a new business must pay before the first product reaches the customer are called startup costs. So to start the business, it's a you have to pay startup costs, or you have to afford the startup costs. What does it mean? The expenses that the new business must pay before the first product reaches the customers. Technology also. What about the technology? Some markets require a high degree of technological know-how. As a result, new entrepreneurs cannot easily enter these markets. So I'm having two here barriers. What are the two types of barriers? Startup costs, and we know how to define them, and also that technology. Okay, so let's talk about the price and output. One of the primary characteristics of perfectly competitive markets is that they are efficient. They are efficient. In a perfectly competitive market, price and output reach their equilibrium levels. What does it mean, equilibrium levels? So here we know that there is no here firm can determine the price of this product. Here it depends on, yes, the demand. I can hear you. The demand and the supply. So we are here talking about here what I'm talking about, equilibrium levels between whenever the supplier and the demander will feel satisfied to buy this product or to sell this exact product at a certain price. Market equilibrium in perfect competition, we know that supply and demand, and we are having here this point, and we are having here, guys, this point where this is here the price where the supplier in the green here line or green here line, he is satisfied to sell his product at this here certain price. And also here the equilibrium here, the equilibrium here for the demander, here the customer will be satisfied to buy this product at this exact price. Monopoly. Let's talk about monopoly. Yes, more than just a board game. Okay, we know all we know that Monopoly it was a game, right? So a monopoly here, it's in this chapter, it's a market dominated by a single seller. So I'm having here what? I'm having here a single seller. I'm the single seller. I'm going to put my rules. Monopolies form when barriers prevent firms from entering a market that has a single supplier. Of course, I'm having here extremely barriers to enter the market that has just one single supplier. Monopolists can take advantage of their monopoly power and charge high and high prices. So, forming a monopoly, different market conditions can create different types of monopolies. Here are some several ways monopolies form. Economies of scale. So if a firm startup costs are very high and its average costs fall for each additional unit it produces, then it enjoys what economists call, remember, economies of scale. An industry that enjoys economies of scale can easily become a natural monopoly. So again, I'm talking here about what economies of scale. It's a kind here of monopoly. If a firm startup costs are very high, okay, so and its average costs fall of each additional unit it produces, so the costs will be reduced, okay, or decreased whenever I'm having additional unit of producing. Okay, then it enjoys here what economists calls economies of scale. Okay, so natural monopolies. A natural monopoly, what does it mean? It's a market that runs most efficiently when one large firm provides all of the output. So a natural monopoly, it's a market, kind of markets that runs most efficiently when one large firm provides all of the output. Technology and change. Sometimes the development of a new technology can destroy a natural monopoly. Remember that. So whenever the technology come up and here it can change here, the development of a new technology can here destroy the natural monopoly. Government monopolies. It's a kind here of monopoly created by the government, of course. These take several forms. Let's see. Technological monopolies. The government here grants patents, licenses, that give the inventor of a new product the exclusive right to sell it for a certain period of time. If you have a new innovation or a new thing of your creation, so you will have something called patents or licenses that give you the exclusive right to sell it for a certain period of time. Franchises and licenses. So what about the franchise? A franchise, it's a contract that gives a single firm, just a single firm, the right to sell its goods within an exclusive market. This is the franchise, how to franchise. A license is a government issued right to operate the business. So if I ask you what's the difference between, and we took the franchising before in business in grade 11. So the difference between franchise and license, the franchise, I'm taking a contract to have a single firm, okay, and I'm getting the right to sell its good within an exclusive market, of course. But a license is what the government issued. I'm going to take a license to have the right to operate the business. So industrial organizations, in rare cases here such as sports leagues, the government allows companies to do what in an industry to restrict the number of firms in the market. Let's talk about the price discrimination. What about the price discrimination? It's the division of customers. I'm going to divide my customers into groups based on how much they will pay for a good. So I'm here doing what? Price discrimination. I'm here dividing my customers according to their ability to pay for a good. Although price discrimination is a feature of monopoly, it can be practiced by any company with market power. Here, market power is the ability. What does it mean, market power? Ability to control prices and total market output. So I can talk about here oligopoly also. Targeted discounts like students here discounts and manufacturers rebates offers are one form of price discrimination also. Price discrimination requires somewhat, of course, price market power and distinguishing customer groups and difficult resale. So let's stop until here, and we will complete in other sessions. Thank you for listening. Bye bye.